Hi, I'm Dominic Percari. I wrote and directed Beyond the Lake, and this is The Breakdown. Next up, Polaroid.
Ooh, right there, that's perfect. Come here, ready? Easy money on three, ready? 1, 2, 3.
So the unofficial story of Polaroid, two young kind of green thieves, what they think is an easy job turns out to be a setup, and they are scrambling to survive.
Easy money on three, ready? 1, 2, 3.
We've got some very recognizable Pittsburgh here. For starters, we've got Heinz Field, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, now known as Acrisure Stadium. Rest in peace, ketchup bottles. We've also got the Carnegie Science Center right here with its IMAX theater, and every commuter knows the West End Bridge. We both drove to the point. We filmed a couple takes of that, went home. It didn't record. We each drove like half an hour back, and I remember when she showed up, I was just like, hi. She was just like, hi. And we turned it on, because we act.
1, 2, 3.
Match cut right there to really drop you into the action. Preparation by contrast is a very powerful filmmaking technique. We wanted to go for something very light and happy and fun to something like, oh my God, we're fighting for our lives now. We had like a dust cannon that would simulate an explosion. Unfortunately, it clogged right after the first test. So this big dust cloud is actually just Tyler back behind that wall throwing a big pile of dust.
2, 1, action!
Cool practical blood squib when I shoot Nate over here as he comes around the corner. That's a real blood squib that we made. He's got essentially a length of inch gauge tube running up the back of his tactical vest with a hole cut in the side and then a little bit of wadding stuffed in there. And then it transfers to a smaller tube, and then that smaller tube is connected to an emergency bike tire inflator, which is essentially just a little pistol that you plug in a canister of CO2 or nitrous oxide into it, and then you can squeeze the trigger and it blasts a bunch of pressure out. And we just filled that rig with blood. And so Nate, he's holding the gun, but he's also holding the trigger mechanism for that blood squib. You can kind of see it in his hand. There's a little black thing right there. As soon as I pull the trigger and the shot is heard, Nate pulled his trigger and made the blood shoot back over the wall, and it worked really great. That was our first take. We also attempted having practical bullet impacts on the surfaces surrounding the action, but at this point, we were less than 20 hours away from the start of the shoot, and we still had far too many variables unsolved, so we ultimately decided to forego the idea entirely. So what I designed and what we rehearsed in the choreo there is after I hit Nate with that flying knee, I'm supposed to like swim my arm under his gun and then pull it right out into a shooting position and then blast the guys on the steps with Nate's assault rifle, go back and turn the corner and put down covering fire for Jordan. In the moment, again, that was our first take. I must have either slipped or I missed my cue, and I didn't have the grip on the rifle that I needed, so I ended up just pulling my pistol again, hit Nate again with the pistol, holstered the pistol, ran around, and then continued the scene like I was supposed to. And the goal of this scene was for it to feel very hectic, very frantic, and very like scrambly. And so even though on the second two takes I got the correct like gun grip, because there was that like actual kind of scrambling in the moment to fix it, it felt better. It felt more real. And so that's why I ended up using that take. So I liked that first half of the take, but I liked the end of take two. And so there's actually a cut hidden right there. When I holster my pistol, I hide a cut from take one, and then we go right to take two. It's very subtle. You can't really see it, which is the point. That's why it's a hidden cut. Another cool hidden bit that if you blink, you'll miss it. If you look at my gun, you can actually see there's like some light actually flashing from the muzzle to barrel. That's practical. Jeffrey Pugh is like hiding in this door. He's got a little yellow strobe light on him. So after I shoot all these guys, he pops around the corner. He puts that strobe light right in my face to make like a practical muzzle flash. Didn't see too much of it on camera, but it's cool that it's there.
Camera's clean, stash. We have to go now.
And then the hallway sequence. I wanted this sequence to look like the gunshots were like lighting up the hallway and illuminating what wasn't there. Joe Cannon taking a nice fall there. Trent Morris. Another hidden cut right here when the camera whips back to show Albert.
All right.
And gonna pan in 3, 2, 1.
And that way it lets us kind of set up for this shot. Blink again and you'll miss it. You can see Jeff right here, hiding behind the door, getting sound for this scene. He peeks out just a minute. He's the silent watcher. He's the real villain of the film. He's the guy that's orchestrating all this. Through the wall I go. In the film, I'm supposed to be going through a wall. Obviously, those walls are thick, so this is actually an open door frame. You can actually see this when we first enter the hall. This door right here, you can see is the piece of drywall that's set up ready for that stunt. Now this we did in a very similar manner to the table throw from Heist Games, where we set up a spare piece of drywall. We took this piece of drywall in two pieces. You can see the kind of score marks pre-cutting it so that it shatters, held up into this door frame with painter's tape. Again, you actually see the door that is usually occupying this door frame. So essentially to shoot that, we just moved down the hall and that became our wall.
Oh, you're gonna break through it? Oh, okay.
All right, you rolling?
Yep.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. There she is. Overboard, this is Bravo 6, Juliet, EKIA.
Of all the projects I've made in my life, I get the same question every single time someone watches this film, which is, why does he shoot her at the end? Why did he do that? And the answer is, he doesn't. So after I shoot Ted here with this pistol, everybody thinks that it's my character that shoots Jordan in the head. Why would I do that? My gun is not up, it's down. Couldn't shoot her if I wanted to. Furthermore, this shot is clearly coming from the side of her head. It's going this way. When I shot Ted, blood went onto the wall behind him, but as you can see, there's no blood going onto the wall behind Jordan. That means the shot is coming from this way. That's why the blood is coming out the side of her head. Also, the muzzle flare that happens when the guy shoots only lights up this area of the hallway. It does not light up in here. That's because the muzzle flare didn't come from in here. It came from out there, from someone else, who's not me. So just stop saying that I... This happens a lot. And there were actually parts of this that got cut for time. So for example, after I'm done covering Jordan, she kind of runs across and shoots. I turn around, there's actually more guys coming from the other way, and I turn around and I lay down fire before I duck down the stairs.
What's neat here is that those are actually the same two bad guy actors from the start of the shot. We wanted to make it look like Jordan and I were getting absolutely swarmed from all directions, but we only had 5 actors to work with. So in this shot, once the camera pans off of Ted and Albert, they have about 15 seconds to hightail it all the way around the camera and all the way down the corridor, so that by the time Jordan gets to the stairs and the camera turns back around, it looks like there are already more guys closing in on us. So great hustle by Ted and Albert. It's a pity we only had 60 seconds, because I think this really shows that surrounded feeling we were going for. I really love action films that mix action and drama, juxtaposing stretches of intensity with moments of vulnerability. I wanted to send the audience through an absolute whirlwind for a minute straight, and then just stop everything and really accentuate the shock of the moment by the sudden stillness that contrasts everything we've just gone through.
That's the picture that we took at the start of the film back when everything was simple and happy, and it's, oh wow, how things have changed. Little known fact, we actually shot 2 different endings to Polaroid, one where Jordan's character dies and another where my character dies. And for the first time, you are about to see that second ending. When your character gets shot here, they can actually survive as long as the script needs them to, which is why then Ted comes out and he shoots me again.
What's neat is that you can actually see the fingerprints of this alternate ending in the extended version of the original. When I come back into the hall and shoot the guy who killed Jordan, you can see that the blood from the wound my character sustained in the alternate ending is still on my shirt here. I knew there was a slight possibility of me getting injured during the wall stunt, so we shot the alternate ending first, so that if I did happen to get injured, we'd still have a usable ending for the film.
So there are some cool moments in that one too, but ultimately can't beat me going through a wall. So that's why we chose that one for the action competition. But yeah, so that is the secret ending to Polaroid that no one has ever seen before. Lucky you.